Harry's consciousness flickered back to life like a malfunctioning holographic display. The cold metal floor beneath him hummed with the low-frequency vibration of the station's gravity generators, a sound he'd grown so accustomed to over the past 6 months that he barely noticed it anymore. But something was different now. Something warm pressed against his left hand. He opened his eyes slowly, blinking against the sterile white luminescence of the corridor's biolights. The empty passage stretched endlessly in both directions, its walls lined with maintenance panels and emergency oxygen ports. Harry had chosen this particular corridor precisely because no one ever came here. Section 7 Delta was scheduled for decommissioning once the new expansion wing went online next quarter. It was the perfect place to catch a few hours of unauthorized sleep between his double shifts in the hydroponics bay. Except he wasn't alone. A young girl sat cross-legged beside him, her small hand wrapped around his calloused fingers. She couldn't have been more than 12 standard years old, with dark hair that fell in waves around her shoulders and eyes that seemed to contain entire galaxies, quite literally. When she blinked, Harry could swear he saw stars wheeling in those depths, constellations rearranging themselves in patterns he didn't recognize. "You were dreaming," she said softly, her voice carrying an odd resonance as if multiple harmonics layered beneath each word. "About Earth, the old Earth before the collapse." Harry sat up abruptly, pulling his hand away. His heart hammered against his ribs. "Who are you? How did you get on the station?" The girl tilted her head, studying him with an intensity that made him deeply uncomfortable. She wore a simple white shift that seemed to shimmer with its own internal light, and around her neck hung a pendant, a crystalline structure that pulsed in rhythm with the station's gravity generators. No, Harry realized with growing unease, it wasn't synchronizing with the generators. The generators were synchronizing with it. "I am Honey," she said, as if that explained everything. "Daughter of the Axiom dynasty, heir to the quantum throne, princess of the collapsed wave function." Harry barked out a laugh that sounded more panicked than amused. "Right, and I'm the Emperor of Mars. Look, kid, I don't know how you got past station security, but—" "You don't believe me." Honey's expression didn't change, but the corridor around them did. The walls began to shimmer, their solid metal surfaces becoming translucent. Through them, Harry could see impossible things, other corridors that couldn't exist in the same physical space, versions of the same passage stretching into probability rather than distance. In one, the lights were red with emergency protocols. In another, the corridor was overgrown with the bioluminescent vines from the hydroponics bay. In a third, it lay exposed to hard vacuum, its atmosphere long since bled into space. "Stop it," Harry whispered, squeezing his eyes shut. "This isn't real, I'm still dreaming." The visions faded. When Harry opened his eyes again, the corridor had returned to its mundane, solid state. Honey watched him patiently, her hand extended toward him once more. "I need your help, Harry Chen, and you need mine, though you don't know it yet." "How do you know my name?" "I know many things. I know you came to Orbital Station Kepler 442, be hopping to earn enough credits to buy passage deeper into the frontier. I know you dream of finding one of the lost colony ships, the ones that left Earth before the collapse, searching for habitable worlds in the Goldilocks zones of distant stars. I know you believe your sister might have been on one of them." Harry's blood ran cold. He'd never told anyone about May. Not a single soul on this station knew he'd spent every credit he didn't need for basic survival on accessing old Earth departure records, cross-referencing passenger manifests with refugee databases, chasing a ghost across 300 light-years and 47 years of subjective time. "How?" "Because I've seen the futures where you find her," Honey interrupted, "and the pasts where you already have, and the presents where you never left Earth at all. Time is not what you think it is, Harry. It's not a river flowing in one direction. It's an ocean, and some of us can swim through it." She stood gracefully, her bare feet making no sound on the metal deck. Despite her small stature, Something about her presence made the corridor feel smaller, as if reality itself contracted around her like a nervous system responding to stimulus. My people, the Axiom dynasty, we evolved alongside quantum computers during the technological singularity. While humanity uploaded their consciousness into digital substrates and the AIs achieved sentience, a small population merged with the quantum processors themselves. We exist in superposition, Harry. Every moment, we are all our possible selves simultaneously, until observation collapses us into a single timeline. Harry struggled to his feet, his back protesting the hours spent on the hard floor. His rational mind screamed that this was impossible, that the girl was either delusional or he was having some kind of psychotic break brought on by too many stims and not enough real sleep. But he'd seen the walls become transparent. He'd seen the other corridors, the other timelines. "Why are you telling me this? What do you want?" Honey's expression finally shifted, a flicker of something almost like fear crossing her young face. "I'm dying, Harry. My quantum coherence is collapsing. Someone has built a weapon, an observer engine, designed to force quantum entities like me into a single, fixed timeline. Once I'm fully collapsed, once all my superpositions resolve into one state, I'll become mortal, vulnerable, and then they'll kill me." They, who are they? The determinists, a faction that believes the universe should follow classical physics, that quantum uncertainty is a flaw to be corrected. They've hunted my people for 3 generations, forcing us into fixed states and then eliminating us. I'm the last of the royal bloodline. If I die, the Axiom dynasty dies with me. Harry shook his head, backing away. "I'm nobody. I'm just a hydroponics technician who fell asleep in the wrong corridor. Even if I believed you, which I'm not sure I do, what could I possibly do to help you?" Honey reached into the fabric of her shift and withdrew something that made Harry's breath catch. It was a photograph, printed on actual paper, a relic from Earth's final decades. The image showed 2 girls, maybe 16 and 14 years old, standing in front of a colony ship with Cygnus Dream stenciled on its hull. One of the girls had her arm around the younger one's shoulders. The younger girl was unmistakably May. "How?" Harry's voice broke. He reached for the photograph with trembling hands, but Honey pulled it back. "I found this in a collapsed timeline, one where you and I never met, where you died searching for your sister without ever knowing she'd survived. She's alive, Harry. She's on Kepler 186f, working as a quantum engineer in the new Beijing settlement. But the timeline where you reunite with her is fragile. It exists in superposition with 17 other possibilities, most of which end with one or both of you dead." "You're lying. You're trying to manipulate me." "Am I?" Honey held out her hand again, the photograph balanced on her palm. "Take it. It's real, solid, from a timeline that collapsed the moment I removed it. I'm offering you a chance to see your sister again, Harry. In exchange, I need you to help me reach the quantum archive on Titan before the observer engine fully stabilizes my wave function." Harry stared at the photograph. Even from a distance, he could see it was real, not a holographic forgery but an actual chemical print on paper. May's face smiled back at him across 47 years of searching and nearly 5 decades of subjective time dilation. She looked exactly as he remembered her, frozen at the age she'd been when the colony ship launched and Earth's communication networks collapsed 3 days later. "Why me?" he asked quietly. "If you can see through time, if you have all these powers, why do you need a hydroponics tech?" Honey's smile was sad and ancient, far too old for her young face. "Because in every timeline where I try to reach Titan alone, I fail. But in 13.4% of the timelines where you accompany me, we both survive. And in 7.2%, you find your sister afterward. Those are the best odds I've been able to calculate. And in the other timelines, we die, usually quite horribly." She said it matter-of-factly, without drama. "The universe is not kind to quantum anomalies like me, Harry, or to those who help them. But I'm offering you something no one else can, a chance to see May again, A real chance, not just a dream you chase between shifts. Harry looked down the endless corridor, then back at the impossible girl with galaxies in her eyes. He thought about all the years he'd spent searching databases, following rumors, investigating every lead no matter how tenuous. He thought about May's last message, sent 3 days before the communications blackout. "Don't worry about me, little brother. I'm going to see the stars." He reached out and took the photograph from Honey's hand. The paper felt real beneath his fingers, fibrous and slightly yellowed with age. In the corner, in handwriting he recognized, someone had written, "Tell Harry I made it." "What do I need to do?" Honey's hand found his again, her small fingers intertwining with his larger ones. The corridor around them began to shimmer once more, but this time Harry didn't close his eyes. He watched as reality peeled back like layers of an onion, revealing the quantum foam beneath, the seething probability that underpinned every solid thing. "First," Honey said, her voice echoing through multiple timelines simultaneously, "you need to learn to swim." The corridor dissolved around them, and Harry fell forward into an ocean of possibility, the young princess's hand his only anchor in the storm of collapsing wave functions. Somewhere in the distance, across light years and locked timelines, he could have sworn he heard May laughing. The hunt for the Observer engine had begun.